and welcome along to What's Up Thailand, WUT, for a very special show, maybe not to you, but for us. And Steve Perrin's with me as well. Good morning.
Good morning, Andy.
You were just telling me off air you've had a shitty morning.
Yeah, well, as I say, the worst thing is even the dogs aren't talking to me. They normally go crazy whenever I walk out to the pond because they think they're getting food or a play or a cuddle or whatever.
Yeah.
The temperature is just right for the dogs this morning. They are just sitting, I was just here sleeping, happy as Larry. But enough of my problems. How's your morning been?
Oh, it's been normal, really. Oh, by the way, with the dogs, who feeds the dogs?
Me.
Cool. That's always an in there. They're going to love you forever because you're Mr. Food. My day has.
Sorry.
My day's been normal, really. It's a Saturday. The wife's out working again. My son hasn't got up. Dogs have been fed. Did my exercise, and it's a beautiful day. As you said, the temperature is really cool. I mean, cool, like good. It's about what, 27 degrees or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
It's about the same in England at the moment, I think.
I know they're going.
They're having a bit of a heat wave.
They're so funny, England, and no disrespect to English people. It's either too hot or too cold in England. They don't complain about the grey nights and the rain. No, it's raining out. No, it's too hot. Or it's too cold. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not really set up for heat, are they? Cold, yeah, central heating, but how many houses have air conditioning?
Well, it's actually a really moderate temperature, isn't it, in England, in that it's never really too cold and it's never really too hot.
Yeah.
It's only the Gulf Stream that does it. I mean, England should be much colder, shouldn't it? If it wasn't for the Gulf Stream coming through, England would be as cold as Canada, that sort of temperature. It's all a bit fake in England.
They do say about England, if it was just a few degrees more south, they'd get the nice weather that France gets down the south of France. It's just exactly where England is why the weather is so, what's the word, annoying. Say the least. Okay, mate, listen. This is a stream. We'll get to the end of it. You can see probably on the thumbnail what it says. But okay, here we go. What was your first experiences with YouTube on panels or in this community? And how did you get involved in
it? God, that stretches the memory a little bit. I can't really tell you what I used to watch, but I think it was the classics, the Talkback Thailand, the Three Amigos, plus lots of other stuff when YouTube first started. I first got in touch with Global. I don't know how, but it was the original Global. And I was listening to Adrian Banana King talking to Dan Julia about a wall he'd had built in Thailand. And the wall I think he's got a big wall around his farm or his property here. And the wall had cracked and he was being quoted a ridiculous amount of money to repair this wall. And I had to go on and actually Dan left and Adrian was still there. And I joined the stream, joined the panel and just had a little chat about the way they construct stuff in Thailand and a wall falling down. I thought he was talking about his house, not an outside wall. But a wall falling down isn't a big problem in Thailand. And it just grew from there. I think COVID had a lot to do with me becoming more and more part of it. It was quite useful to have the virtual bar of Global to be able to join. And I felt a little bit guilty. I thought, well, look, I'm having lots of fun. I might as well become a gupta, put something, it sounds bad, but I did think it was an altruistic response to actually put a bit back into it. So that's my
Hang on a second. So you're a Gupta. I didn't know you were a Gupta, whatever. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I think you took me on, Andy. I think you interviewed me. No, I'm joking. It was a combination of Aztec,
yeah,
and a man we don't mention anymore.
Oh, we do. I love Aztec.
And Adrian was the first person that I actually spoke to live, and I had the camera on then for the first 2 or 3 times that I came on to Global. I had the camera on, and it was only because I've got a couple of grandchildren that were running in and out of my office. I thought, this is too dangerous. I know I'm going to forget about them. They're going to run in here half dressed, and we're going to get criticised for the usual bullshit. So that's why I turned the camera off from that day to this.
Well, my initiation was when I came off radio. I spent 3 or 4 years doing more voiceover work, but the COVID obviously killed a lot of studio work. But I think I joined round about 2017 when I started Bangkok Chit Chat, and that they call it now like clout chasing, right? I didn't call it that. In my mind, I was starting a new channel. I wanted to get the name out there. I was going to be a big YouTuber. See how that went. Failed YouTuber. But I had a partner that had a full studio. He was doing other things as well. He said, let's do it. And we put our heart, soul into it. But I remember somehow, and I didn't know anything about YouTube. How about that? Starting a channel, didn't know anything. Didn't know all the phraseology that comes with it. Didn't know anything. So I got on to Talkback Thailand, and I found it somehow. And even Steve Clark to this day says he doesn't know how I found him, but I found him. And I somehow clicked on the link, and I was backstage. I didn't realize that. And I was sitting down with the wife having dinner in the evening. Suddenly all these faces came on my phone. Steve Clark, Johnny Siam, a guy called Al Board, and Mark Loveridge. I go, hello, Andy. And I go, who the hell are you? And they go, oh, we're going to do, would you like to come on stage? Something like that. So that was my first time. And I came on and I did my thing. And I went on a couple of times later and did my thing. And then something, I don't know how many months passed, maybe 2, 3, I'm not sure. Clarky will probably, he probably won't, he can't remember either, but like both of us. But it was something like, then Global started, and this is the early Global, right? The early Global. And I think it was Mike Sheff and Clark said to me, they got in contact with me and said, would you like to join this channel? I thought, oh, this is okay. Bear in mind, I was still doing my thing on the other channel. I said, oh, sounds good. And what's a Gupta? I had no idea of anything. I was so wet, but I'm still naive about the whole situation, to be honest. That will come later. But all I'm saying is that I was suddenly had buttons. I didn't even know how to start a stream or anything like that. And I don't think I ever did. But it was nice just to join whenever I wanted to. And it was fine. We had people like RL on there. There was a guy from the Middle America who was a dairy farmer who liked his beer every Friday. Couldn't smoke in the house. So he used to go outside every 5 minutes and smoke out something, come back. Forget his name, I'm so sorry. I met Dan and everything else. But here's the thing. The more I got involved in it, the more I got not caught up, but I was aware of animosity between certain factors of the community. I don't like him. He did this, he did that, she whatever. And I wasn't roped into it because I always kept a sort of like a very middle ground, because no one had done anything bad to me. And to this day, no one has really done anything bad towards me. But these people have had really nasty things said, and people need to watch the earlier What's Up Thailand video to explain how it can go if it goes wrong. But that's beside the point. So I got into like, well, I like this guy, so I can't talk to that guy. And if I like this guy, I can't go on that channel. And gradually, very, very slowly, it went to not really being enjoyable or entertaining for me. Global changed its names many times, and then it went on through to Zounds, and then it went on to What's Up Thailand. So this is from 2017 to now, 2025. So I've been around, but I've never, ever really had an argument with anybody, because to me, that wasn't the idea of what I wanted to do with with being on the channel. I just wanted to be friends with everybody. If somebody said something bad, I just ignore it, and you get them. So I didn't even know what trolling was. Receipts were. Everyone said, "Oh, show the receipt." All I remember is like get a receipt when you buy something. I now know what a receipt is, but that's how naive I was, and I quite liked to have been naive because I was totally oblivious of all the infighting that went on. But over the years, it got more and more. Well, you're classed in that group, and you're not in that group, and so, well, shall we go to where we are now, mate? Are you?
Well, I'll just say one thing, because I've had roughly the same experiences as you had. I don't think that I've ever been the top of anybody's hit list, but there have been yucky things happen. But I would say, on a positive line, when you get to sort of, let's say, the other side of 60, you're thinking of thousands of people you've met during your life. And certain ones of them sort of get through your filters and become friends. Starting from school to higher education, to work, to your hobbies, your social stuff, whatever. And you're very lucky, I would suggest, if you end up with 5 good friends at the end of, when you're 60. And they've gone through all the filters, because time is a big one as well. Gone through all the filters, and they've become Andy's friends, or they've become Steve's friends. So I think it's really an addition to our lives in that we have become, or I've got another handful of friends just from my delving into YouTube and having the global channel, the Zounds channel, the What's Up Thailand channel. I'm not going to mention any names not to embarrass anybody, but there's a number of people here who become like brothers. Good friends.
Well, you can mention them.
No. I think we know Andy. I think you'd be on my list. I think that the gentleman who's you're going to mention in a bit, who does all our graphics, would be on there, and of course Johnny. But we're going to that later on, because I think we're going to mention them in our final thing. But does that make sense, Andy? I think it's unusual to make friends, at this sort of age, that get past all your filters, and I think we're blessed to have made this friendship. What do you think?
I totally agree. I mean, I'm lucky to have some very close friends in real life, in the sense of not online. But I've also experienced people coming to my house or meeting people that have been the nicest people. I can mention them. I mean, I've never met Dan, but he's like, I would meet him tomorrow. From people from South, TT, obviously Johnny and Clarky for sure. But I can't remember any other names now. But there's loads. Oh, Sean the Sheep's been here. And they are the nicest people and most honest people with integrity that I've ever met. Now, online, they sometimes come across differently, but, that's a discussion for another day, how people react online. But Adrian, for instance, I mean, he's the channel owner, and he's decided to not renew the StreamYard account. Over the last few years, he has been really kind and generous to own the StreamYards and pay for it and let us all play on it. But now it is finishing. So myself and Perrin here have a decision to make, whether to open another StreamYards account and carry it on, or shall we decide to call it a day due to many reasons that I will explain my reasons, and maybe Mr. Perrin can do his. I mean, for me, it was a decision, shall we carry on? But for me, I have a lot coming up over the next few months. I'm not going to go into it, but it's a family businesses, and we are expanding of what we're doing. And, these shows to produce weekly, for me, being an old guy now, take a lot of effort, a lot of thought, which I enjoy. but a lot of time. And, you know, everyone in the team has put that effort in as well, which is, you know, commendable. It's brilliant. Everyone's done it, not just me. But I won't be able to contribute in the next 3 or 4 months of a new channel, or, you know, a new YouTube channel. And what free time I might be able to get, to be honest, I want to spend doing something maybe a little bit more relaxing. I mean, there's been people not recently, Stephen Clark's been in my life since, as I say, Talkback Thailand back in 2017. And he's put a lot of thought into the shows. I mean, in the past and also very recently, he's produced some great graphics while also sourcing news. And, you know, and what goes along, Mr. Stephen Clark, we have somebody else that's helped the channel on the panel unbelievably, Steve. Who is he?
And that was the guy I mentioned just now, Johnny Siam, who, big thank you to Johnny, but very good at making a panel run smoothly, very good at multitasking, something I'm really bad at, very good at multitasking, keeping his eye on the chat, keeping his eye on the subject, keeping close to the subject, very good at that. And also, pre the show, very good at doing some detailed research into whatever the subject was for that week. So a big thank you to John.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, how can I say it? I'd like to also thank, you know, all the people that have come on the panel, have understood what we're trying to do, remaining neutral, not taking sides, just picking up topics that we think are interesting for people to debate. And, you know, we had the full support from Clarky, Johnny, you and me to make that happen, which was all great. But I think now, for me, my energy levels to do it, you know, for whenever, how long in the future, have waned a lot. And I mean, as I say, I'd like to thank.
It's very similar for me in that, not for quite the same. I haven't got any businesses to run, but I just find I've got less and less time. I got the family, the dogs, the 2 grandchildren. There's always something happening. I mean, just to get everybody organised to do this little show today, it has been a struggle. You know, there's a party going on somewhere. There's something. I mean, the weekend's always been tricky for me anyway. But I'm not moaning, although I'm English. I don't whinge often. It's got to the stage though where I still really enjoy the preparation for the show. But between you and me, Andy, I don't really enjoy the shows anymore. I find it too stressful. You know, it's maybe it's because I've given up smoking over the last year, but that was a big decision to me. Whereas when we talked just now, you know, I used to really look forward to going on the original shows and having a chat to everybody. And I even used to start up shows on my own, you know, to get things moving. Now I don't look forward to them at all, and I don't miss them. I occasionally to other people's, but as I've said on our weekly show, I actually spend more time watching other things like Kick and other YouTubes. I mean, I'm watching shows about long distance lorry drivers and get more fun out of doing that sort of thing than playing on ours. So it was a mutual decision. Let's put it that way, Andy, that we both thought long and hard. Do we carry on with this, or do we take, because of Adrian's decision, do we then call it the final curtain?
Well, we've made, we've made the decision that we are going to leave. And now leaving doesn't necessarily mean the end of What's Up Thailand, as someone might pick up the torch and carry on, which will be great. And, you know, from time to time, I'd love to join the panel and put my 2 pennies worth in, as I'm sure you would, over talking everybody. But for me, it's time to leave the channel. Not for any other reason than it was a time with the running out of the channel. Not that we can't pay for another YouTube channel, that's easy. Sorry, of a StreamYard thing, but I won't have the time to do what is needed for it to be successful. And I just like to, as we said, thank Clarky for sure, thank Johnny Siam for sure, And even I am going to give big flowers, and I know you're going to hate what I'm going to say, to Aztec, because Aztec was, to me, somebody that
The bastard.
gave me, yeah, he gave me personally, he loved production, which I love, which you love, you know,
Yeah.
but
Well,
he
look,
got
although Aztec and I fell out, quite seriously, he was the first one to invite me to become what do you call it? A Gupta a Gupta on the original Global. So he wasn't a bad lad. He was we just had a clash of personalities, shall we say? But yeah, I thank him for introducing me to you, Andy. Let's put it that way. I'll say no more. But I wouldn't. I've got no
bloody
idea.
hell. Bloody hell. I mean, that is fantastic.
And also, you've thanked everybody. I just like from my side of the desk to do the same. Thank everybody that's participated, been part of the panel, or just been a silent viewer. Thank you all very much.
Yeah, the lurkers, they're important. You know, most of the old accounts, they're fine. And, you know, special thanks to, I can't name everybody, from the Knopplers to the Averys to everybody that has been part of my journey to here now. Dan's another one. Even what's his name, Gogus, who I love to death. He's just like a stream killer, bless him. But, you know, he's a lovely guy. And I think it's just the time, as we said. So as you just said, thanks for the support that we got. And this is not necessarily the end, but it's the end for me and Steve.
It's the end of the beginning.
Absolutely. So
right. Okay.
So we're going to play the outro, and I encourage everyone to watch to the very, very end. It's not a long outro, but watch to the very end, and we'll leave it there. So thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Bye. Hey.
Yes, goodbye.
Now is the time to say goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Now is the time to yield up.
Yield it.
Yield. Now is the time to run away. Or do we meet again some sunny day? Goodbye.
Comes a time in everybody's life when they must say goodbye. And that time is now, and so with tears in either eye, we say goodbye and quit this mortal coil on which we strut and fret our weary way, as Shakespeare put.
Goodbye, everyone. It has been so much fun. I love you all.